welcome to Studio Sunday. Well, the holidays are behind us and we're finally back working on all things Abstract Studio 2022.
Yes, we are. We're back.
It was a fun holiday season, but we're happy to have our routine back, aren't we?
Yes, I'm glad to be here, and I know what to do here. So that's the only thing I can.
You don't know what to do anywhere else?
I can't control anything else in 2022 except right here.
Okay, so let's get on with it.
Okay.
Serial issue number 10 is at the printer, and it'll be in stores at the end of this month. It's the last issue of the series. Can you believe it? It's done, finished.
And
you want me to tell them how it ends?
Yeah, let's do. I'm so excited
That'd go
about
well,
it.
wouldn't it?
Robyn and I really talked it out. I mean, I ran several scenarios by her and stuff like that, so I think it has a really good ending.
Okay, so the final trade, Serial Cat and Mouse, is also at the printer, and it'll be in the stores in mid-February.
Yeah.
So the end of January for issue 10, mid-February for the last trade. And good news, the Serial Omnibus actually went to the printer early. Not that we'll get it early, but it buys us a little time if there's any production or shipping issues, which there have been. So we're hoping that that'll help us. So Terry's working on the pre-order print right now, so all is well.
Mm-hmm.
We are still scheduled to ship that limited edition version in late March, and we'll keep you updated as we get closer.
The limited edition has a very cool cover. It's a different cover from the retail hardcover, softcover. They each have their own covers. And Brian Miller is coloring it now, and I cannot wait to see it. I should see it today.
Okay, speaking of shipping, yuck. We are back in the weeds with the international shipping. We have once again stopped accepting international orders. So if you are international and you go to our website and place an order, it will not let you complete your order because UPS has raised international rates by about 30%. And so we have to reconfigure the store to accommodate the new pricing. Between the new VAT policies, the price increase, shipping delays, and lost packages, it's almost impossible to get books internationally. We're working on it, but you'll have to bear with us on this one because things have got to settle down a little. We are so sorry. It's really a mess. We just don't have a choice. We either get the books back or they're lost in shipping, or we've charged $10 and the shipping cost is $50. I mean, it's silly.
Yeah.
So we just have to take a break.
Yeah, it's just a wild frontier right now.
Yeah, it's just too much. Okay, and if anybody has any solutions to that, let me know.
Yeah, if you have your own shipping company, let us know.
Or if anybody has a good, what do they call it? A consolidator. Let me know because I know people are looking for them. I don't want to recommend anybody, but you certainly could. I don't know consolidators, but I know a lot of people use them. And that may be the way we have to go at some point because this is just getting ridiculous. We just send books off and never see any sign of them again. So.
Yeah. So, and, which is people in Western Europe typically have never needed a consolidator. But, we would always see there's a very well-known consolidator for Russia that's here in the States. We know that, but I don't know. Europe may need to start thinking about it.
I just can't even wrap my head around it.
I know.
Okay, a quick shout out. Oh, wait, I've got something else to talk about, the Kickstarter. As most of you know, Terry will be doing a Kickstarter this year instead of a new series. It's one big fat book. It will be a standalone graphic novel, and he is deep into getting it all plotted out right now. Thanks to everyone who gave us suggestions for the tiers and the stretch goals. It is both scary and exciting to us, and we appreciate all your suggestions. So we're taking it slowly and making sure we have a grasp of the situation before we actually release it. So, and we're working with Kickstarter to make sure we're doing the right things, and so it's pretty exciting.
I feel it's new for me, so I'm wide awake, and boy, it has my full attention.
Well, and because you're not going to be on a monthly schedule, that you don't get to take the month off. You understand that you still have to draw during the month.
Yeah, I do.
You
Yeah.
got that, right?
Uh-huh.
That because you have 6 months to get the book out, or 9 months, or whatever it's going to be, that doesn't mean you get to wait until the last month.
It does if I'm drawing stick figures.
Well, that's kind of like the drawing you just did.
I've got my new style right here.
Okay, so that's it with the Kickstarter. We're still moving along on it. Hopefully, we'll have something in the next 3 or 4 weeks to release. A quick shout out to our inventory and shipping coordinator, Mike, who has a birthday this week.
Well, happy birthday, Mike.
Happy birthday, Mike. You're a godsend and we love you. So, hope you have a happy birthday.
Yeah. How old is he? 16?
No, he's a very mature man.
Okay.
Do you have anything to add, Mr. Moore?
No. The only thing that I did this week, besides doing some sketches, was making sure that the omnibus and the trade got ready. And we were talking about the omnibus being early. For once in my life, I've got these books made before a deadline. So, yay. That's
Yay
my
you.
big news. Yeah, yay me. And when we talk about like getting an omnibus ready, there's hardcover retail, softcover retail, abstract studio version. And then I have a little checklist here of like, okay, do you have the cover? Do you have the interior? Do you have the special legal page? Do you have all, so it's quite a little set of files. So I just thought I would brag about
see that.
getting all those
How's
files
that
made.
going?
Feeling pretty good.
Great. Okay, are you ready for your first question of the hot seat of the year?
Yes, it's the first one, huh?
Okay, your first question is very timely, actually. When developing a new character or series, do you look at what is popular or new on the market? How do you know what will sell? Oh, if only we knew.
Oh, if only. Man, I wish that was easy. It would be nice if you could look at, say, the top 10 comics and say, oh, I'll do a story like that. No, it never works that way. What's popular for that publisher doesn't work for us, and vice versa. So I think every creator is an island. They do best if they stay in their world and think their own thing and make their own stories. And not really look around too much for things to copy or their own version of. That's how you get those unique properties, So yeah, you do better just to stay in your own world and think of your own use your own imagination.
So you don't go and look and see what's on the shelves on the rack at the store before you start a new series. You just have your own ideas and.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And you're just hoping people will buy it.
Yes, exactly. You're betting on yourself. If you go and look at what's on the shelf, then you're setting yourself up to do something similar like that. And we already have it.
So
it's already out there.
Yeah. Why would they want it?
Yeah.
Okay. Question number 2. When you are inking a character, do you ever use a brush as well as a pen? How do you decide which one to use on the faces?
I do both, yeah.
Do you always do both?
No. Sometimes it'll be all brush, like early Strangers in Paradise. Sometimes it's all pen, like later Strangers in Paradise. Now I have a hybrid style where I will do a pen for the details, like in the face details, and then I will do a brush for the outline, and then maybe go back in with a pen and do the interior details. But the advantage of the brush is that it's so fast. You don't have to keep, you can load it up and just draw an entire figure with one brush load of ink. But it has its own look, it's a lot more flowing look and all that. When I got to Rachel Rising, I deliberately wanted to use more pen lines that were sharper and more angular so that there was a more feeling of nervous energy or tension in the drawing, just subliminal. I didn't want a lot of flowing romantic lines. I wanted, edgier lines for a horror story. So yeah, you kind of think about that. It's a tool and you want to use the right tool for the moment.
But I think what he's asking is, when do you know whether to use the brush or the pen?
Well, I made it, like I said with Rachel, I was making a decision about which one did I think would convey the tension versus if I'm drawing something that I want it to be more romantic looking, then I will use a brush, and then the brush has these smooth flowing lines. The pen, I feel like, has sharper, more defined lines, more exact. So I make the choice depending on the emotional factor. It's like deciding whether I'm going to use an electric guitar or an acoustic guitar. They're that different to me. I don't know if other artists, I've never seen them describe them in like a mood, emotional terms. But a lot of artists tend to use one or the other. But I know a lot of guys who can do either one, Colleen Duran or Adam Hughes, any of the top illustrators. And I think that they choose them according to how they want the line to communicate.
Okay. Well, I hope that answers the questions for the first hot seat of 2022.
Whew, that was a rough one.
That's it for me. So what are you going to be drawing today?
Well, I have these beautiful stick figures here. And I thought I would take this stick figure, which is actually a difficult pose, and we would draw it for real because I need another sketch for the April 1 through 3 Terry Moore Live.
Terry Moore Live, April 1st through 3rd.
I have 2 sketches, 3 if you count Spoon. So I need a sketch, and this would be a hard one to draw, so I thought, well, might as well put a camera on this and embarrass myself.
Okay, well, good luck to you.
Thank you. All right.
You guys have a good week.
Maybe here. So I have 3 sketches ready for the April sale. This is one, call it Kachu Castaway. Just trying to tell the whole story in one picture. And then I have this one that I rudely titled First Base. Kachu likes to win this game, but Francine lets her win. So, and then we have Spoon. I was telling Robyn that if this counts as a sketch, then I have 3 sketches ready. I don't know why I drew this. I'm not sorry. Spoon. Okay, so let's put these away. And here's what I doodled and thought. Let's try this. Sitting, legs crossed, arm back with an angle. And I just thought, that's an interesting pose. Hand on the ankles, head cocked. I don't know if you can see that in that little doodle, but that was actually a hard pose to draw. So I'm going to try it. So let's try it. I always start with the head. I started that one with the head. So, and then the body. And then arm is just laying relaxed, hand on ankle. This is the kind of pose that if you draw it too realistically, it might not be so attractive. Because usually people's lower half of their leg is not very long. So if you have lower legs that are like that, you know, it's a different kind of picture. If you're going for, you know, some sort of arty look, you want these legs to be longer, like wings, you know, like folded wings. I don't know if all artists think, you know, hippie dip like that, but I think it helps to let your mind use metaphors. If you only draw what you see, that's one thing. If you're trying to convey emotions, then you have to dig into your brain think in terms of emotional views. You've seen 1,000 trees. What's the one tree you remember? And it's probably because it did something, had some sort of emotional impact on you. Whether it was somebody said, "Oh, that's the oldest tree on the planet," and suddenly you stare at it and you think, "Wow." Versus a row of trees downtown, and you drive by them every day and never notice. So we're trying to make legs you remember. That was the point of all that. And one thing I'm going to do here is this pose is counterbalanced with this. The cocked head has this counterbalance of this super long hair. And that's kind of vital to the whole point of it. So it's the entire time, even from the body language, which is established in this very early stage, I am trying to get an emotional drawing. I'm not just trying to draw a person and get it accomplished. I'm trying to draw something that has an attitude. And the attitude starts with the artist. I could just get all this stuff lined up symmetrically, and it would be a boring piece of art. And that's the artist's fault. So now I'm just kind of correcting. If you think about what I just did, I blocked it in, and now you see all the erasing and redrawing. I'm correcting what I drew. So I keep chasing it like, no, the arm was higher. This shoulder was lower. The washing machine's ready. This head needs to come over. There's the front of the thing, and you actually can't get the head over that far. Should have a broken neck. So how do I know? Neckline comes up here, and there's an ear at the top of the neckline. Did you think about it like that? Better. Allow for that whole rib cage, and then everything just kind of scrunches up here. Scrunch. Like that. Where's the middle? You need to know. You have to know. Okay. Wings. Long legs, exaggerated for this particular piece of art. If you had a leg like that long, you'd be over 6 feet tall. Maybe. But in the drawing, it looks great. Okay, hand right here. Right? Relaxed upper arm. This arm comes forward. So that's a forward perspective arm. And one of the ways I get the forward perspective is these angles. You're looking at it that way, as opposed to this way. That way is the arm is hanging straight down. You can't see up inside it. If it's coming at us, you can see up inside it. See that? And there have been times where I draw, and this part over here has one perspective, and this part over here has another perspective, and I realize it later I've actually published drawings like that. Okay. Ground. Everything down here is flat on the ground. Thigh, ankle, foot, leg. This leg will be in front. Ankle. Like that. It's getting harder to tell what's going on down here, isn't it? Okay, this arm is the very top thing. Like that. Ankle, foot. Remember, the inside ankle bone is higher than the outside ankle bone. So even if you're drawing this angle, you know that ankle bone's there and that ankle bone is there. Then you have the top bridge of the foot and then all that stuff. Shin bone. Super, super complicated little knee joint there. And those muscles, you're pushing that muscle, so that one right there, so it goes out like that, that squeeze, and then this foot can come here, and something like that. So top of the foot, toes here, toes here. So the bottom of the leg is arcs. These are arcs. And then these will have more of a contour because they don't have gravity going on them. Arc. And there's, doesn't come over that far. Kneecap. And there's an arc back there, and we don't see it. You have to know how to draw the stuff you don't see. The bottom of this thigh is behind this leg, actually just right behind it. Like that. And we don't see this, but you have to draw it, or I suggest you draw it. You don't have to do anything I tell you to do. I'm going to draw it. If you're not going to draw it, good luck. Okay. I think we got the pose. This shoulder is actually coming forward, so it's immediately all forward bends like that. Forward, forward, forward. And then fixing the hand is a matter of details. You just kind of draw the familiar stuff. You know you have the top of the hand there. That doesn't bend. You know you have that part, so you draw it. And there's that line right there. And it's a square. It's not a V. There's a gap. So you draw the gap right there. And then you know you have your first knuckle, but you know the most prominent knuckle is this guy. So I always kind of put a little line right there to help me know everybody went this way. And this knuckle kind of fades away quickly. One, it's the best knuckle. Something like that. It's going to be something like that. So you see all my bold lines are the major ones. Then I work out the details of the foot by actually getting getting lined up with the leg. One thing it'd be better if the leg was right there. So it's really right on the hand, right? This top part of the leg is not where you're going to get a big, beautiful arc. That top is going to be straighter. And you need to allow for the curve of the fold, the kneecap, and then a straighter line, and then all of the indicating that this leg can be shapely comes at the bottom. That indicator comes at the bottom. Like that. By the muscle that hangs down and squeezes down. So it's going to be a little bit like that. And I wonder, this guy's going straight. Be like that. So kneecap top is right there, and then that little triangle protection cap right there. So it's sort of like that, and then the leg like that. And then you get into drawing the foot. So now it's about ankle bone. This is the line. There's that much difference between the inside ankle bone, the outside ankle bone. And then you allow for the back of the heel is back here, instep, the top of the crown of the foot right there, and then everything right here is flexible and can bend up. So something like that. Does that look right? So you just take it piece by piece, and just once you know, because you're doing your connecting as you go, but then when you get to the time for the foot, you draw a foot. You just draw a foot, draw a leg, draw that knee. And if you know how that knee works when it bends and stuff like that, you're going to be okay. Allow for the weight of that leg right there. How thick that leg is conveying information about what the body mass index of this figure is. This leg, I'm going to move up a little bit. It bends tighter because it's behind the other leg. That kneecap front. Less of a curve on the top, more of a curve on the bottom. The only ankle bone part I can see. The top of the foot. And then all those thingamajiggies down there at the end of the foot. Something like that. Okay, that's not correct. I'll also allow for the fold. And then one attractive arc. It might actually, if you were more of a bike rider, it might actually be more muscle definition like that. Like that. Because there would be a lot of muscle right here and muscle there. But that's not how you do pinups. I think in pinups you go for, oh, look at that beautiful one arc line there. I just made that rule up. That's total BS. If you don't like it, don't do it. Okay. One of the things I'm going to have to do is figure out what clothing is on this figure, so that it's socially acceptable. But as an artist right now, I'm not worried about it. Yeah, all I care about is the human figure. Can I get this figure right? Now, you can see there's an old face back there. I'm ignoring those old prompts and just working on getting this right now at this angle.
You may say, okay, well, how do you know how big to make the face and the head to match this body? It was established when I drew the head shape first. And then I know if I get the head shape right, I know that the eye comes in about that much. And then there's the distance to the next eye, and it goes about, matches the width of that. And then I know their distance to the ear. So once you drew that head figure, that head shape, you kind of had it. That's what the cross is all about in terms of like, okay, eyes here, and then the relationship of how long that nose is where you choose what your say you draw women as your pinups, but it could be male or female. How long the nose is kind of like something that an artist may use as a definition. Like Monera noses were this long. Adam Hughes noses are like this, and my noses are like this. It's just something you kind of get into figuring out what kind of nose you want, and that's kind of your style. You can draw. I like breaking my mold and drawing different noses, so that maybe today I draw the typical Caucasian. Tomorrow I draw other ethnicities. I don't say that right. Because it's not because I think this one nose is the cutest. They're all really cute. Just depends on who your character is, I guess. Okay. One of the things we're going to do is have this beautiful mane of hair that's flowing down right here. And you're going to use the contours that you know are here the hair is going to be drawn so that it comes out like this, and then there's a sheen right here, and then it drops. And it's going to show the contour like the way water would flow down a mountainside, and then there's a rock figure there that the flow goes over, and how you indicate that as an artist is part of the beauty of it. So that'll be fun to do. Okay, the waist is here, but if this shoulder was down here, that elbow would be about right there. So you can, one of the things I guess is worth pointing out is that all of this early drawing is about relationship, a lot of measuring and making sure I get things in the right place. And the reason why I go to so much trouble and I'm explaining it is because if you don't get this part right, it doesn't matter how pretty you render it or how pretty you color it, there will always be something wrong with it if you got something off whack. Now, this leg could be a little bigger. A little bigger wing right there. I was about to say, look. And then I saw this. Okay. Now, there is zero detail. This is just, all I did was kind of started with that doodle, and then I was picturing this, and now I have just the bare bone structure to go in, and now you go in and do what you think are beautiful eyes, a beautiful nose. You go in and do all the beautiful details everywhere. You do all of your hair rendering, and then you figure out what you want in clothing here, whether, whatever, what is this person wearing? And that's going to have a lot to do with what kind of drawing this is, of course. And I have no idea at this point. It doesn't matter. I was just happy to get the model pose. Now I can go in and just focus on the details and know that I'm not wasting my time because I worked real hard on just this part of the leg. It's going to be okay because I know that the leg matches the drawing. That's as opposed to like if I started rendering, say I have a drawing like this, and my eyes are not level, and I really start just working on the hair and all this, and I've got the hair all drawn, and it's just so, I'd work on the dress and the Victorian dress and all these labels. And I think I'm doing, a beautiful pinup, and what I end up with is A Nightmare Before Christmas. So, it's good to get the house framed before you start putting on the sheetrock. Look at it that way. Get your structure built right, and then you can go in and do the details that make your definitive style. Whether this is going to be anime or Supergirl, it doesn't matter. At least you have the right foundation to work on. So that's my lesson for today. I'm going to finish this out, and then I'll show it to you next week.